Right now, currently, my top 5 for hip-hop genre go to J. Cole. I can't even do the counting this way. Let me start this way. J. Cole, Wale, Kanye West. Ew. I don't know who else I should say. I'm trying to think. But I'm not listening to Andre 3000 right now, so he can't be in my top 5 as of today.
But I would say Jay-Z. Love Jay-Z. Kanye West. I love him. Andre 3000. And I mean, I agree. I don't want to separate them, but I just feel like Andre 3000 has just always been the breakout for me. I think he's just a lot more creative.
So, yeah. So, Wayne. Now, here's the thing with this again. I always have to, like, caveat every time I name a favorite artist because people change so often, and it makes me so upset as a fan. But Wayne has gone down a path that's not negative in this. I mean, he's growing as an artist. People got to experiment and do what they want to do because everybody's an individual, and I just can't have them be boxed in.
Obviously, I'm not the biggest Wayne fan.
She's not, but you can't have them boxed in a category forever. So he can't forever make dedication albums or drought albums or squad up CDs. Like, I mean, even those 3 that I just named were all different. So he has to grow as an artist. So I can't discount him for that. But when it comes down to,
I feel like he's at a standstill. To be honest, I've never been a huge Wayne fan, so I can't I don't know to compare back in the day versus what I've heard on the radio and I mean, I've bought some albums and I've listened to them or whatever, but I'm not like a huge Wayne fan. But I just feel like, and I read a review from somebody who said that his last album, because I was listening to it and I was like, some of the songs I like some of the things he says, it just sounds like, 4.
Oh, the
last one,
okay.
Yeah. A lot of things that he says are just like stupid. Like, I feel like I used to like him because
article we read.
Yeah, like his metaphors would be real witty and catchy, and you'd just be like, wow, like you have to think again. But on this album, he was saying stuff, and I was like, this just really, it doesn't make any kind of sense at all. And I feel like he thinks that, or maybe he doesn't think it, but he's at a point now where when Lil Wayne comes out with an album, people are going to buy it. Like, he sold 900,000 plus albums in his first week. He can say, like Jay-Z, even though Jay-Z doesn't do this, I think, but he can say boo-boo on a stick, and people will go out there and they'll buy it.
Boo-boo on a stick, hoes on my dick. What?
And something about syrup.
Serve my syrup, sipping on
maybe
some syrup.
Maybe throw Nolia in there a little bit. Something about a yellow girl. And people will buy it. And I just feel like he's able to do that. He's able to be really lazy with his lyrics because he knows that he'll sell albums. And I don't know if he's doing it because he really wants to be creative anymore.
Because the thing is, he's still... I don't know if you guys watched the video that he posted after Steve Jobs died, and he started talking about how people remember Steve Jobs as an innovator, but there's a lot of y'all out there didn't even know who Steve Jobs was, and it was kind of like he said, when I die, are people going to remember me for being the guy that had the 2 double phone cups? And it was kind of like his legacy is bigger than that. And a lot of people, I feel like people aren't going to really recognize Lil Wayne for the genius he truly is until some stuff happened to him, and it's kind of like you have to go back and you start really listening to his old mixtapes. Because the stuff he said, his delivery was nice. He's very lyrical. And I feel like the way he thinks, like his perspective on a lot of issues are very deep. And you don't think of that when you think of Lil Wayne because he is boxed in a certain category. I mean, he did start off with bling bling and all that kind of stuff. But some stuff he says is kind of like really nice. I'm not going to start quoting songs and listing out some songs. Maybe I'll do another video. But my defense video for Wayne, because I still am a fan, even though I'm not a current fan of the music he's making now. Doesn't make sense, but I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, he's a talented guy. I think
he's very talented.
Amazing that he can come up with stuff off of his head and go into a studio and just record it and not have to write it down. Like, that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah, so don't know. Yeah, but so I don't know if I name people. I think I'm gonna forget. But right now, I mean, favorites just because they have to make my list, even if I'm upset with them at the time. Drake, I've been a fan of Drake since early 2006. When I first went to college, freshman year, I was a big fan of Degrassi. They had a video that came on TV, and he was it was the video when they showed each of the characters from Degrassi, what they do behind the scenes and stuff. And it was Aubrey, and he was freestyling in his booth, and I was like, oh, he raps, because he was the only black guy on the show. So clearly, every black girl, you have to like the black guys on the show. So I was like, oh, Aubrey, he raps. Let me go see what kind of music he has. And he had the MySpace page, and it was when MySpace was big. And so I went to MySpace and I was listening to his songs. And the first song I heard was called So Special. And I loved that song to death. And it was like basically just like the whole thing about what he looks for in a girl. And it was like so beyond like the surface. And I just thought this is so nice. So I was like, I love this guy. Then Come Winter, that was my favorite song. So back then, he wasn't big enough for his mixtape to be distributed all across the web. He was selling them online. So I went out and I bought a mixtape, y'all. I bought a mixtape from MySpace. He did this little, it's like a little autograph thing on there. I don't know if he really autographed it or what happened, but I bought the mixtape online and I used to play that every day, all the time. When I was going to Pensacola, which is where I went to college from Jacksonville, it was like a 6-hour drive, and I would make my mom listen to that mixtape the entire 6 hours to Pensacola because I was that in love with Drake. And then, like, I just love Drake to death. And then, you know, he went and signed with Young Money, and then what his topics were changing. It contradicted a lot of stuff that he said back in the day. And the thing is this, I mean, I know I'm not the same exact person as I was when I first went to college or even when I was in high school. But I may have veered off the path at some point. But I feel like everybody still has some grounding principles. Like, they're still the same person deep down inside, but they just may veer off from it a little bit. So the So Special lyrics, Drake song in 2006, I really believe he's still that person. Just right now, you know, he's just been thrown into a lifestyle where he's around girls all the time. And he's about bottle popping. And look who he's hanging around. So, of course, he's going to change as a person. And he's influenced now by that lifestyle. Look at
his success. Like,
and look
you
at
get a little bit of money, you want to show off.
I mean, he's young. He's been thrown into this lifestyle. So, now he's rapping about what he's experiencing, which is what he talks about in his songs.
Right.
So, I can't really, like, knock him and say he's not a good artist because his delivery is still on point. The stuff he's saying has still, like, made some changes. Like, everybody now in Young Money raps the same way he raps now. He's still a great artist. It's just what his content is not what I'm feeling because that's not the content I expected from Drake. Mm-hmm. But I feel like maybe in 2-3 years from now, maybe even Take Care. I don't know what this album's going to be like, but I feel like it's going to be really good.
And it's going to Take Care is going to be good.
It's going to bring me back to Drake I like. Yeah, maybe he's now had this time where he's been experimenting with all this different partying and stuff like that. He's going to get back to Drake from 2006, the true Drake, in my opinion. And then I'm just gonna be a fan all over again, and it's just go through
really
that cycle.
Low key too.
He
hasn't been all in the media. It seems like he's really been focusing the past couple years on his music.
Yeah,
which is cool. So I discovered Drake, I guess, kind of late, because when I discovered him, I was like, oh man, I found this guy. Like, nobody else really knows about him. What was that? So Far Gone.
Oh, well, you were way late.
And I found. And I don't remember how I discovered it. But I remember coming into class and I was singing Successful because I love to sing, so I just always be singing. And one of my friends was like, "Oh, you singing, Drake?" Da-da-da. I was like, "How you know about Drake?" And so we just started talking about it or whatever, and talking about the music. And I was like, I really love this mixtape because I just felt like it was really creative. He meshed a lot of samples with, his verses that you wouldn't necessarily think went together, which I thought was really great. I think he's a really lyrical artist. I think that he definitely has staying power. He's somebody I feel like he's really hungry. Like, I don't think he's at a point right now where he's lazy because he knows that he's doing it for the artistry. He's not doing it, at least I think, just to make a quick buck and sit down. I think that he's definitely somebody that in the next few years, like, you'll be able to say, like, Drake is on my list of people that I like.
Is he the Jay-Z of our generation? I would like to know.
I feel like he has that potential. I think he may be there yet.
I think he's on the Wayne level because, like, you know how Jay-Z is. I mean, Jay-Z. And Jay-Z has been around for a long time. Like, before I was even listening to hip-hop, Jay-Z was in hip-hop. I'm not that young, but compared to what Jay-Z's, like, how long he's been in the game, I was pretty young when he first made it in. And probably, like, the whole mixtape era. I don't know, they were making mixtapes back then. Whatever they were doing when Jay-Z first came out. He's like an older person's, like, legend in hip-hop type of thing. For our generation, it's like a Lil Wayne. Like, a Lil Wayne is like the Jay-Z of our generation, I guess you could say. Because we've been around, like, Wayne came out when he was 15. I was, in middle school or something when I think I first heard a Cash Money song. And so it's kind of like Wayne has been the Jay-Z in my life. So I feel like for this younger generation coming up, Drake may be the Lil Wayne of their generation. Because even though Drake's like our age range, it's kind of like these people who are new to hip-hop, young ones, like people in elementary school, middle school listening to hip-hop, they're going to admire a Drake before they admire a Lil Wayne. and they're gonna admire Lil Wayne before they admire Jay-Z, and that's just how it
I
goes.
feel like Lil Wayne is on that level.
Well, yeah, maybe. But that's why I'm saying, like, a Drake and a Lil Wayne are on the same level, because neither one of them clearly can't be a Jay-Z because they idolize Jay-Z. Yeah. So you can't be better than that person that you're idolizing in that sense. But, well, I mean, I don't know, because Kanye is kind of stepping up there, and you know Jay-Z and Ye. Like, Ye was a big fan of Jay, and now it's kind of like, I would put Kanye on a Jay-Z level before I put him on a...
About Kanye
it's just, see, this kind of stuff we talk about. You know, we on a train, and we go in on these topics. But it's just, so yeah, I don't even know.